Morning, 2 people are dead after a fire in Harlan, Iowa. Crews arrived on scene yesterday afternoon to find a home full of smoke. The victims were taken to the hospital where they later died. The cause of this fire remains under investigation at this hour. We will be sure to update you on this breaking news as soon as we learn more information.
All right, in the meantime, it's good to have you with us as we wake up on this Wednesday morning for our First Alert 6 streaming. I'm Erin Hartley.
And I'm Cerise Cole, along with Senior Chief Meteorologist Rusty Lord, Meteorologist Jared Lansford, who is just tracking a nightmare on the roads this morning as far as traffic's concerned.
It's bad enough that I'm having trouble keeping track of just how many crashes we have on I-80. They've just been rapid fire coming in. So let me show you the situation.
Okay.
I-80 is definitely the road that is being impacted the most. We've had at least 2 crashes as you're making your way westbound right around 42nd. One of those was on the shoulder, so that's the good news, is it wasn't in the traffic lanes. But you've got eastbound, that's in the center lane, so you likely need to stay left on that one. Eventually that will probably get pulled over to the shoulder, and you don't want to be in the way when that is happening. But you can see all the delays as a result of that. We go a little further to the west. Notice that whole time we were moving west, it was red. That's all the delays that are in place. This is a separate crash right near 84th as you're heading westbound. This one blocking the left lane. So as you get to this one, you need to stay in the right-hand side and be ready for delays. You can see it's just a total mess in both directions on I-80. Usually when I'm seeing these kind of situations on the interstate, it's like a snowstorm, and it's not, obviously. We're just had some rain that moved through this morning. All kinds of problems there. So a lot of times what I say when we have the big delays on I-80, it's your best alternate route would be L. Problem being, we've got a couple of different spots where we have construction work that's happening. Remember, we were first alerting you to the ramp closures for accessing 72nd, getting to and from there at L. So there's kind of a hoop you would have to jump through. We don't have direct access there. You've got other construction that's happening in L as you're going between about 50th and 70th. So you're looking at slowdowns already being in place because of that, and then you're going to have some drivers who try to use that. So not a great alternate route. You have construction that's been in place on center as well, so that kind of limits there. So your best option is just to leave plenty of time, have patience this morning, and please slow down. We've been looking at not just I-80 impacted as a result of crashes, but a few other spots too. This is 84th, or Washington if you will, and Cornhusker, where you're seeing some delays that are showing up in just about every direction. And then as we go further south and east, we had a vehicle that ended up in the ditch on the JFK northbound, that around Fairview. So it's not just I-80 where we're seeing the issues. So you want to use plenty of caution this morning. Be careful. We're still seeing some of the issues, obviously pretty concentrated in one part of the metro, but not exclusive to those areas. We're going to continue to first alert you to anywhere where we're seeing these come up. And of course that gigantic mess on I-80, how that continues to evolve. That'll be something with First Alert too.
It is a mess. Be so careful this morning. Okay, as we wrap up the show this morning, you say the good news is that heavy rain is for the most part done in the metro.
Well, the likely thing that caused the problems, at least, is it moved on out. So a lot of people late for work today, kids late for school with all the crashes that we have. And the good news is we've started to dry things out a little bit. You don't have nearly the road spray here at 90th and Dodge or the rain falling as we speak. But we've been bouncing around between 65 and 67 essentially as the rain has been moving through. So no big cool downs with this rain, and the much lighter activity on the radar, and even the stuff that has slid to the east isn't as heavy now that it's on the Iowa side. But Crescent, Honey Creek down towards Council Bluffs, you can see Glenwood, Silver City, Trainer dealing with some showers. New little thunder showers popped up there in southern Sarpy County, heading to the northeast. So again, every once in a while we get a little development on the back edge of this line. There's more down here to the southwest struggling to hold on. You can see new development here. You kind of see why I've kept rain chances in the forecast at any point today. The greatest odds are right now, and then just a little bit less as we go into the afternoon. But this system just keeps spinning up over our area, and this is the first of what could be 2 or 3 pesky systems like this. They don't move through very fast. They don't go very far during the day, and they keep just trying to use what moisture we have and fire up some new showers. Overall, none of it's going to really take the humidity out of the air, just going to help cool us down. So we have muggy conditions through the day today. That doesn't change, but it'll be much cooler. We got 5 days in a row of 90 plus here in the middle of the month, and today will be the first day we break that streak. So scattered showers, thunder showers possible at any point here during the morning hours. Notice we're not all seeing rain at the same time at lunch, but there's going to be some on the map. Still a few on the map by 3 o'clock, and then as we warm to near 80, maybe just enough energy to pop off a couple of more late afternoon into the evening. And then as the sun sets, those would likely fizzle and move to the east. So again, a lot of randomness to these thunder showers. Had a little more organized line this morning. That will probably not be the case the rest of the day into the evening hours. Good idea to just have the umbrella with you today, tonight, and even into tomorrow. So while the best chances are early in the day today, and then they kind of tail off gradually, Thursday's kind of the inverse. We should start off pretty quiet on Thursday with a couple of showers amongst the clouds, but then tomorrow the rain chances go up into the afternoon as we build in a little heat. Once we get near 80 degrees tomorrow, that'll probably be enough to pop off a couple more showers and thunder showers, and you can see how that plays into account for the afternoon and into the evening hours. The good news about Friday, I think anything that's in the morning should move out pretty quickly. That keeps trending faster and faster. A high of 78 by the afternoon on Friday. Probably a pretty good afternoon the way Friday is shaping up as of right now, but we'll see how it goes. Every round kind of does its own thing. The heaviest, I think, at least for today anyway, is probably moved out.
All right, looking ahead to that Husker forecast on Saturday. Is the rain going to persist?
There is a chance there as well. We got to pay attention for that during tailgating and during the game. It's not great right now. I think these will be pretty spotty. Recent models have taken this and put it well to our north. I'm worried it's going to kind of bounce around a little bit as the next system moves in. So we're right around 80 degrees for the high during the game. That's trended a little warmer. It's a 2:30 kick, but just don't be surprised by rain at any point during the day on Saturday. I don't think it's going to be all day rain though. And you tack on the rain that could exist all the way into Sunday morning. The next 5 days show us rainfall potential on top of what we already seen. Could add another inch to maybe up near 2 inches in some spots on the Iowa side from this point onward. Maybe a little less for our Nebraska viewers. And you can see the chances that are there. There's Saturday. Could have some morning thunderstorms on Sunday. Perhaps a little bit more late Monday into Tuesday. And your high temperatures don't move very much, right around 80 degrees for the rest of the month. The thing is, as you get towards the end of next week, average highs are down in the 70s. So when we may show maps that say warmer than average. Well, average just keeps falling off pretty fast, and we should be in the 70s here for the rest of the month, and probably a little warmer than that.
All right, Rusty, in the meantime, thank you. Today marks 100 days since Mayor John Ewing took office. To highlight the occasion, the mayor's office tells us that Ewing plans to share some of his accomplishments so far. We also expect to hear more details about the upcoming celebration for Omaha's very own Terrence Bud Crawford. We're also told that Ewing will share an announcement about potential future town hall public meetings. Ewing became Omaha's 52nd mayor back in June.
Well, the Omaha City Council approved a settlement of more than $500,000. It's to resolve a lawsuit involving a former police captain. Last year, Kathy Belcastro Gonzalez filed a lawsuit against the city, arguing she was wrongly fired over a previous discrimination lawsuit. Well, in that suit, she was awarded $700,000 over claims she was wrongly passed over for a promotion. When that settlement was reached, Mayor Ewing said Police Chief Todd Schmaderer acted appropriately. Well, people living in Nebraska are getting some much-needed property tax relief.
Governor Jim Pillen's office says he signed an executive order to distribute $20 million. The funds come from an increase in casino gambling revenue from last year, as well as from 2 tax credit funds. That $20 million number has almost already been matched so far this year, according to the Racing and Gaming Commission.
This is a really happy surprise to, give more money back to Nebraskans that they're due. The message is that we are exhausting every possible avenue to provide funding to citizens in Nebraska who are paying exorbitantly high property taxes.
Pillen says fixing Nebraska's property tax system is a priority. His office says the executive order brings the total direct relief provided to taxpayers to about $1.3 billion over the course of his term.
Aaron, thank you. Here at the Safety Desk with our Maria Kate, it is considered relatively rare for a younger person to have a heart attack, but sounds like that could be changing, unfortunately.
Yeah, there's some new research coming out that's showing that the rise is really concerning, especially for younger women. And a lot of them actually don't necessarily have those traditional risk factors that come along with people who do suffer from heart attacks. Experts say 1 in 10 heart attacks in women under the age of 65 are caused by something called spontaneous coronary artery dissection, or SCAD. So researchers say SCAD was nearly 6 times more common in women compared to men. It can be triggered by something like really intense exercise, but unfortunately it can also just happen out of the blue.
Anyone can have a heart attack. It's not just older people or smokers. So if you have chest pain and you don't feel right, get it checked out.
Of the nearly 1,500 heart attacks studied in this research, the second most common cause was actually stressors like anemia, or actually people who have infection, and then that would trigger the heart attack.
All right, you got to stay health aware. Yep. Thanks for that information. Plus, you have a first alert to a new recall.
Yeah, this one's focusing on applesauce and baby food too, so something you definitely want to be aware of. Sprout Organics, they are recalling some of their baby food pouches, and the company says that they could be contaminated with elevated levels of lead. So this is affecting the 3.5-ounce pouches of Sprout Organic sweet potato, apple, and spinach flavors. The products were sold between September and December of last year. Luckily, so far, there haven't been any illnesses that have been reported from this. But if you still have them, you know, maybe in your pantry or something, you want to throw them away. And you can also return them to the store that you bought them from to get a refund.
All right, good to know. Good information this morning, Maria. Thank you. And we are back after this break. Stay with us.
All right, welcome back. Time now 7:16 as we get started on this Wednesday morning. There's a lot to talk about as people are making their way out the door. And part of it is because of the rain that we're seeing this morning. Yeah. Is it about done? When do we expect that?
The heaviest is long since past us, so that's the good news. We don't have any really thunderstorms out there with great coverage. Now it's just a little bit of rain left over from, the Papillion, La Vista area, east through Sarpy County, over towards Glenwood, Silver City, and Traynor, and that continues to march to the northeast. And you can see down here in northwest Missouri, far southeast Iowa, there's a couple more thunderstorms in parts of Mills and Fremont County as they're moving to the northeast. A little bit more rain back here, and you can see why we just can't ever take the rain chance out entirely. This system just keeps pinwheeling over our area and will eventually keep firing off new thunder showers. Even some of the development extends down into Oklahoma as it tries to feed into this. So this is what we'll be watching all day today. Rainfall estimates over the last 24 hours. You can see here, you get in the yellows and reds. That's where we had some 2 to 3 inch amounts over the last 24 hours north of I-80, the north part of the viewing area, in close to the metro. The heaviest looks like it's been in western Douglas County, where depending on where the thunder showers popped up, maybe some totals up near an inch in a few places. There was a pretty good thunder shower yesterday evening down around the Bellevue area as well. Again, very spotty, sporadic with these thunderstorms, and that's the story. Additional rainfall, though, over the next 5 days. Yeah, there's still chances heading into the weekend. You can see there could be some more 1 inch plus totals on the Iowa side down into far southeast Nebraska. So we're not done with the rain. The greatest chances, I think, for today have put in the rear view mirror, but they're still possible at any point. Notice how they drop off some into the evening and overnight. Then tomorrow we kind of flip the script. We'll start off pretty dry and then likely see some thunder showers develop during the day. So the morning hours, again, there's a couple showers. Can't, again, remove the rain chance entirely, but head towards 3, 4 o'clock. There's more scattered thunder shower activity drifting through towards 7, 8, 9. Still some of those around the area. Into the evening hours on Thursday. Friday, it's been waffling. Is it a morning round or is it an evening round? And right now I'm leaning morning. We'll see how it goes. Saturday has some chances for that Husker game. Keep an eye on that. Right now it doesn't look like anything widespread or soaking that would cause a washout or a cancellation. There might be a lightning delay to worry about on Saturday.
Okay, that is good to be aware of. So yesterday was just hot,
Yeah.
and I'm looking at the forecast and seeing some 70s and 80s. Would you say we're done with the 90s?
Right now, I think so. There's a small hint that we could get a little warmth right at the tail end of the month, but I tell you what, in our 10-day forecast, everything so far is hanging right around 80 degrees for afternoon highs. So we'll go, our average high is right around 80 right now. By the end of this 10-day forecast, we're typically in the mid 70s. So when I show you this temperature outlook for the end of the month, you can see how there's a little surge of some warmth that could impact the middle of the country here by the end of the month. Right now, I'm thinking that's mostly 80s, but we'll see if maybe there's a 90 we squeeze out of that. But right now, hopefully we're done with any heat waves because, it's almost October once you get past that forecast. So it looks like a lot of 80s from here on out.
It is. Okay, in the meantime, let's kind of refocus back on today because, of course, the rain has been falling, causing a lot of traffic impacts across the metro.
And it's especially been impacting I-80. We've just been continuing to see crashes. We even have another one that came in since we last checked in. So when you're looking around the metro, you can see how there are wet roads. It's not an exclusive problem to I-80, but it's mainly I-80 that is seeing the bulk of the issues. This is the latest right around 84th. You can see that one has been moved mostly to the shoulder. Still have that left-hand lane being blocked off. This is westbound where you have that one being in place. When we look at the map, we still have our crashes that are in place. Eastbound, we have that one also moved over to the shoulder. So told you that one would get moved out of the center lane to the right shoulder. That's what's happened there. Westbound, you've had a couple that are in place also on the shoulder, so we're starting to get these out of the traffic lane. We did get that new one that popped in. That's near 96. That's also on the shoulder. So it's this one right here near 84th where we're still looking at the left lane being blocked. Still have all sorts of delays on that stretch of I-80, basically between 680 and about 42nd in both directions. So be ready for that. L is quite slow as people try to go to that as the alternate route. So be aware of that. Some delays on JFK, not crash related. Dodge, you're also seeing some of your normal delays. We do have that crash 84th and Cornhusker as well that I'm watching with some slowdowns. But be careful this morning. You're looking at some issues on the roadways. The roads are wet. You could run into some slick conditions. As Rusty said, thankfully we're starting to see the rain taper off.
All right, Jared, thank you very much. Still to come, the latest attraction that's taking you on a trip down memory lane.
Yeah, when First Alert 6 streaming returns.
All right, if you're in NYC this fall, you need to pivot, and head to Times Square.
Yes, there's a new chance for Friends fans to hang out, just like Ross, Rachel, and the gang. The Central Perk Coffee House is coming to the Big Apple. It is the second real-life version of the iconic sitcom spot. The other one is in Boston. Set to open this fall, the new Central Perk will be a contemporary take on the original with authentic touches like the big orange sofa. Remember that? Everybody remembers that. That's where the gang would hang out. So that's cool.
Rusty, I know that you and your wife are pretty big Friends fans, right?
All the time, and that's just reruns in our house. You know that comfort show when you just put it on. You know you've seen every episode.
Yeah.
I want to put that on our list.
They need a Phoebe on the guitar to play outside the Perk, right?
I know. That's the one.
Oh, that's the one. All right, everybody. Thanks for joining us this morning. We're going to get ready for our update in the Today Show. You can watch it here on streaming or over our air.
Have a great start to your Wednesday.
Live from WOWT, First Alert 6 starts now.
Good Wednesday morning, everybody. It is 7:26. I'm Cerise Cole.
And I'm Aaron Hartley. A lot of traffic impacts to get to this morning. We'll get to right to Jarrett.
And it's especially true if you're going to use I-80. We've had a series of crashes that have taken place. This is one on westbound I-80, right around 84th. It's blocking the left lane. You need to stay right. And really, in either direction, you should be ready for delays. We've had crashes on westbound, right around 42nd. Those are on the shoulder. This one near 42nd eastbound, also now on the right shoulder. But you can see the delays that are in place both directions as a result of this. Another one that's on the shoulder westbound near 96th. L also slow, so be ready for delays there. One more 84th and Cornhusker. Watch that area for a crash. Rusty.
All likely caused by the heavy rain we had roll through an hour and a half ago, and now the steadiest of which has slid onto the Iowa side. A couple new thunder showers now developing over I-80 and making a beeline for Harlan. There's some in southwest Iowa as well. A little more rain down around Lincoln. We'll see how much of that can hang on. In and around the metro, the heaviest rain is on the Council Bluff side right now, and it is pretty light at the moment. So things are drying out a little bit for now. Temperatures in the mid-60s as you head out. That's where we're starting off the day. Rain chances are at their greatest this morning. They will tail off into the afternoon, but I just can't remove them entirely because every once in a while we'll get a little spotty redevelopment with this. And in between, I do think we can warm up to about 80 degrees, about 10 degrees cooler we've been over the last several days. But again, take the umbrella with you. Don't be surprised by rain at any point over the next couple of days.
Breaking news, we are following. 2 people are dead after a fire in Harlan, Iowa. Crews arrived on scene yesterday afternoon to find a home full of smoke. The victims inside were taken to the hospital where they later died. The cause of that fire remains under investigation this morning.
All right, everybody, it is 7:28. We're back with another update in 25 minutes. Be careful as you make your way out. Have a great day.